Hi, guys. Welcome to Go See Gail. Again, this is a channel about the service industry. It's going to be a little bit about politics, and maybe sometimes I'll talk about products that I love. And I'm really excited to just get this channel going because it's been something that I've been meaning to do forever. I started some channels back in COVID, and then I got distracted and, I stopped. So, the beginning of this channel, I just really want to break down my issues with the service industry and living in Los Angeles, and how I believe God does not want me to bartend anymore. And I get it. I'm hearing it really loud and clear. God is just like, you just not supposed to be doing this anymore. And I'm like, well, dude, hey, bro, or, energy, whatever it is that we are, because I do believe in God, but we all have our ways of believing in God, and I think God is in everything. But sometimes I'm like, man, I'm like, I need to pay bills though, and I have to pay for things while I pursue my dreams. And there's this rent thing that happens at the end of the month, and when I bartend, that helps to pay for rent and gas and the pet food and everything. So I know that you don't want me to do it anymore, but what would you like me to do to make money so that I can, chase my dreams and make them come true, God? What would you like me to do? So I'm going to go from the beginning. This is going to be, it's going to be like a journey for, I guess, like the past 6 months or so, 6, 7 months of what I have gone through since I quit one of the best jobs I ever had. But I'm not regretting quitting this job that I had at all, because I was drinking a lot at that job, and that's nobody's fault but my own. It was just one of those things where we were allowed to do that. It's a drinking bar, and we just do that. And not everyone does it, so I'm not like ratting anyone else out. I'm just saying it's one of those things that you're just allowed to do. And I was doing it a lot, and I was doing it because I know that I really wanted to do this type of stuff instead of that. And people in the service industry, not the bartenders, but your customers, can be very draining, and they can test your patience. And the funny thing about what makes you drink when you are allowed to drink behind the bar is everything. Everything makes you drink when you're behind the bar. You could be happy, like, oh my God, all my friends just came in, let's do shots. Like, oh my God, this is so boring, I need a shot. Or like, oh, it's almost closing time to make a drink, or I'm gonna sing in a minute, I'm scared to do this song, take a shot. I mean, there's a million reasons to drink, and I used all of them to drink. And at the end of the night, sometimes I would be messed up. And that was happening more than normal for me. So the little angel on my shoulder was like, you got to get out of here. It's, even though you love all these people, you love the owner, you love the manager, and you've been working with these people for 12 years, you got to get out of here. So, and it happened sort of organically, because, this is the part where I lose half my crowd, but I'll still gain people too. I was starting to like write things on Facebook about politics, and it was kind of my own thing. I didn't do it on Instagram because I think that's like younger, and everyone would be more pissed off if I did it on Instagram. So it's just like my old lady thing that I did on Facebook. When I would see stuff that I disagreed with, I'd just be like, well, how about this? And because I was drinking, I think I got a little bit too spicy on Facebook. And some of my friends were getting, I don't know which ones, but they would go to the owner of my bar and they would say, hey, I'm getting offended by things that she's saying online. And so she started to tell me, I get it about free speech and everything, but like, about the Facebook stuff, can you like just not do that? Or like, it's really affecting my business. And I was thinking, how can it be affecting your business? Like, I think my numbers are pretty good. I mean, my numbers were pretty good, but who knows? Maybe they weren't, but I'm pretty sure they were. I had a really good following there. But I was just like, well, just tell them to block me, or snooze me. Like, whenever I see some dumb stuff on Facebook, I would just snooze people. Or if I just didn't agree, or if it was annoying or whatever, I would just snooze people or block people. It doesn't upset me if you do that. And she's like, it's just affecting my business, And I was like, well, then just I won't promote the bar anymore. Because she was like, you promote the bar and you promote this stuff, you know? And so, well, I was like, yeah, I won't promote the bar anymore. And then that doesn't work because you got to promote bars, events, and stuff. And so at that point, I was just getting like, I don't like this, you know? Like, I really am a big advocate of free speech. And so is she. And so I'm not knocking her for that. I'm not going to talk badly about this girl. I love her. She's one of my best buds. But it was creating like a rift. And then my birthday was coming up and I was asking her if I can just take, I don't know why I've got itchy nose right now. It's just so annoying. I asked her if I could take off work for my birthday and she didn't like that. But the year before my birthday was a disaster and I don't even need to get into that. It just wasn't fun. And I just didn't want to be there for my birthday, you know, if I'm Mrs. Bad Free Speech person. And so, yeah, it was starting to get murky and I was starting to like come in and not really want to be there anymore. So the night that I quit was a kind of a weird night. I'm going to take a sip of water real quick. Sorry, just give me a second. I'm going to try to bang this story out in 3 minutes. Okay. The night that I quit was a couple days after the, like, don't do the Facebook thing. Okay. This is what happened. So, it was a Thursday night, and it was one of those nights where just bad things kept happening, one thing after another. Somebody spilled water all over the pool table. This other guy, what happened? This other guy was like, turn the music down, turn the music down, turn the music down. And he doesn't even spend any money. It's just like, shut up. You don't even spend any money here. You always get somebody to buy your drink for you because you beat him at pool, but you don't really like spend any money. I don't want to turn the music down for you. I want to turn the music down for somebody who puts $100 in the register. You know what I mean? And then we had a couple at the end of the bar close to the jukebox that they were like, can we get 2 Don Julio margaritas? Now we usually only have silver. I mean, that's usually what I've seen. So I just grabbed the silver real quick, went down, and I had my own fresh lemon and lime juice that I like to juice for my drinks. That's just something I would do for the bar. And so I was making these perfect margaritas, and they were like $18 each because Don Julio is expensive. And right when I was done, Emily comes down because she's the owner. She came down and she's like, they want reposado. And she was like so mad. And so was I, because you just sitting here watching me make this margaritas with my perfect juices and everything. And then right when I'm done, you're going to say you want reposado. Like I just like poured $36 down the drain because you were lazy and getting to me. Like you should have, as soon as you saw me grab the silver, you should have been like, reposado, please. Anyway, she's like, I'll make them. And so I grabbed one of the drinks. And I'm like, well, I have to go use the bathroom. So I grabbed one of the margaritas and like chugged it in the bathroom while I was using the bathroom. And then came back. And then I have this, big guy who's like, can I get a Heineken and a Diet Coke? And I was like, sure. And then I'm like, it'll be $8. And he's like, I gave you $50. And I'm like, you gave me nothing. You gave me absolutely nothing. Like, I didn't even tell you what it cost. What are you saying you gave me $50? I don't see $50. I never picked up $50. What are you talking about? So people try to, like, rip us off all the time. That kind of stuff happens, too. And so I said, I know I have a $50 in the register because earlier tonight, some guy got a Don Julio shot and he got a Corona. And it equaled $20 even. So when he gave me the bill, I'm blind. I didn't see what the bill was right away. I took it and I figured it was a 20 and I was going to be like, thanks, it's 20 even. And so, if you want a tip, you're just going to have to go into your wallet and tip me. But if not, but then when I got to the register, I thought it was a $50 bill. So I was like, cool, it's a $50 bill. Yay, I can break it and get a tip out of this, right? So that's the only $50 bill that was in the register. And the boss and I were bonding because she was annoyed too. She was like, I can check the tapes. I'll check the tapes. I'm going to check the tapes. So I'm like, you check the tapes, And so I think that there might have been one more thing that happened, but it was just like putting out fires left and right. And it was annoying energy. And And then I look down at the jukebox, and I see two dudes, playing music. Now, the app on the phone, we have the phone, right? It's the AMI app. It was down. We were having computer issues earlier. That's why the boss was even there. She was making sure the computer worked. And I like to see what music's playing on the jukebox because sometimes people play crappy music. And this is like one of those things that I've had debates with people. Sometimes you'll have like, the older crowd that are here or at the bar at like 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. And it's like kind of like chill music. And then someone will play like death metal at like 7:30. And it's just like that, just because you two punks in the corner want to listen to death metal, you're ruining my whole vibe here. So that's the kind of stuff that I just think is like, think like a DJ if you're going to play music. Look at the crowd and try to play to the crowd. It is not rocket science. And it's just a nicer thing to do if you're going to be in a bar and play music. But, not everybody gets that. So these guys, I just didn't know them. So I went over to them and I said, hey guys, and that was one of those things. Little angel on my shoulder was like, don't mess with them. Just keep going. But then it was like, this is the last fire I'm going to put out. It's not even a fire, but let me just go see because it's been such a crappy night that I just want to, fix. I just want to not have anything else bad happen, like hearing a bunch of crappy music. So I went over to the jukebox and I said, hey guys, like, what are you guys going to play? Like, what are you guys playing? And they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, like, what kind of, like, are you going to play to the crowd or are you, sorry, I've been getting over a little cold. Are you going to play to the crowd or are you going to just play whatever? And, and they're like, well, what do you mean by that? And I said, well, sometimes people just play whatever they want. And then, I lose my crowd and everybody leaves. And then, we're just listening to that music. And he's like, well, that's racist. And I'm like, what? I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, that's racist. That's racist. And he was getting in my face, that's racist, racist, racist. And I'm just like, I didn't even tell you what music to play or not to play. I just said, are you going to play to the crowd? And obviously this is a melting pot. I mean, we're in Los Angeles. Everybody's a different color here. So what, and then I just like, and then he's like, racist, racist, and getting in my face, And I've been punched in the face by a man at the bar. So that kind of stuff triggers me. I hate that word, by the way, trigger. It upsets me, So I get upset is what I'm trying to say. So I did one of these. I was just like, I'll just deal with this later. And who cares? Play whatever the hell you want. Don't care. But as I'm walking away, the owner was just like, Gail, stop. Gail, stop. Stop, Gail. Stop, Gail, stop. And I'm like, this guy's puffing up on me in my face and you're telling me to stop. That's what we're doing here, right? Like, and I was just like, and she was talking to me like it felt like a dog, just like, stop, like, sit, Gail, sit, that's what it, and just from that alone, just not getting the backup, I just had to leave. I was just like, I gotta go. I can't work here another day. I can't work here. And so I quit. And never went back to work, and I'm okay with that. It upset me tremendously, and I'm not saying that she and I aren't cool. Like a few times, I've heard people say like, well, "You talk shit about her," at the bar, and I'm like, no. People ask me what happened, and I tell them the story. And I don't stray from the story. And I had witnesses and they would say the exact same thing, So no, I don't talk trash. I just say what happened and how it made me feel, And so that's what happened. And it was upsetting because I love that bar. The people from that bar are my regulars from the bar that I worked at before for 9 years. And I felt like I was her Lieutenant Dan, like I would promote all the stuff for her. I have everybody's phone number and I would promote even on shifts that weren't my shifts. I put a lot of work and energy and time and love into that bar. And I just didn't feel like she had my back. And I feel like we all need to back each other up. And it was one of those nights where, she just didn't see what was happening. And I'm not mad at her for it. It's just that's what happened. And at the end of the day, it's better to not work for friends. That light, you see the light in my glasses. It's better not to work for friends. It's better just to work for not friends. I don't know. Oh God, it looks weird with the light. So that's the story. That's why I quit the banter bar, and I love that bar, and I still go there, and I'm still friends with everybody. But I will say that it's been humbling, very humbling. going to find work and I have a job. I have a vinyl business, and I've saved a lot of money. I don't have kids, so I'm able to stash money away. I've saved a lot of money, and I have a vinyl business. So I do okay, and I do private parties, and I still work. I'm fine, but like I always feel like I need to have another job or a side job to do while I, work my business, because that's what you have to do to survive in LA. To survive in LA, you have to have like 3 jobs. You have to have a lot of things going on. You really do. Or marry a rich guy. I don't know. But I've always worked for myself. So that's the story. 15 minutes. That's the story. And it's been very humbling getting work after this, big breakup that I had with a girl that I really love. And I'm going to talk about all of the different places that I've worked at and how I'm learning who I am and where I'm at in life. And I still think I have something to offer the service industry just because I love it. And that's why I'm pushing to find something still. And I should. I'm very well known. I'm a very well known bartender in West LA, and I've been a lot of people's favorite bartender. So I know I'm very good. But I also know just from doing the past few jobs that I've done, I've also learned what I'm not good at, and that's what the next videos are going to be about. So thank you for staying for this, this whole video. The other ones will probably be a little bit shorter, and I appreciate you checking in. And this is Go See Gail. Subscribe. I have no subscribers. I'm brand new, and I'm very excited to do this channel. It's going to be about a lot of different things, and I just appreciate you being here, and thanks for listening, and stay tuned for the next video. All right? See you soon.